Alright, here we have a classic rock epic. It's Brain Damage / Eclipse from Pink Floyd. Okay, and this one's all about kind of like arpeggiating just right. Getting those chord changes nice and smooth. It's going to kick off with just the intro, which is just kind of picking through a D chord. And the way you want to do it is you're going to hit the second on the E string, hit the 3 on the B, and go back to the second on the E. Okay. Alright, and then you hit that second on the E once more. Back up to the 3, to the 2 on the G, and then 3B, 2E. Okay, so it'd be something like this. Okay, slowly. And then you just kind of get that pattern. You know, this isn't like super set in stone. You just kind of get the gist of that, at least, and I think you'll be in good shape. So we just kind of go. Okay, something with that vibe. Alright, and then we'll get into like the full verse, and it'll start that same D chord the same way, first couple of measures. And then pretty much picking the same way, but we just changed to a new chord here. We go to a G7. It's pretty simple. You just first on the E and then open G and B. And just pretty much pick it the same way you did the D. Okay. Get that going. And go through those two twice, and then we'll come back to the D. Okay, and then we take that D shape, just slide it up 2 frets. So we're on the 4E, 4G, 5B, and that'll be our E chord. And go ahead and pick that the same way. Alright, and from there we go to an A7, so 3 on the E. And then just do 2 and 2 on the D, G, and B. Alright, and this one we're going to hit that 3 on the E. Alright, and then we do a 2G, 2B. And then back to the 2G. And then just pick through the whole thing. 2D, 2G, 2B, 3E. Alright, and then we go back to the D shape, just for one measure now. Okay, and then we just go to a D suspended 2 after that first measure of the D there. Okay, so all you really gotta do is just lift the middle finger up so you have the open E in the mix now. And here we just kind of go back between that open E to 3 on the B, open E, 3 on the B. Okay, something like that. Alright, so then you just put it all together. Alright, and we could do those cool little bending accents that are going on during the verse. And it's just kind of like we just change to a different spot depending on what chord's going on. So when the D chord gets going there, we come up to the 14 on the E here. And we just kind of give it like a slight bend and slow release, and then just hit it again. So something like that vibe on it. Alright, and then once the G7 comes around, a couple spots are played on the G7, but the first time it's going to be all the way up here on the 19. Alright, and we do the same thing. Just bend it, release, hit it again. Alright, and once we get to that E chord down the line here, we do it at 16 now. Okay, then we'll get back into that D chord again, second time around. Okay, we're at that 14. But now once we get to that next G7, then we just do this pre-bent 13 and release it to 13. Alright, and then once we hit the G chord again, it'll come all the way back to 19. Okay, once we gone through the verse twice, all those progressions, we're gone through it twice now. There's kind of the ending of it, which is, I guess you'd call it like a pre-chorus, where it just kind of shifts to a D7 chord. So we'll be at 2 on the E, 1 on the B, 2 on the G. And we just pick it one measure of this. So we're hit the 2G to 2E, 1B, 2E. Okay. Alright, in the next measure, we just kind of lift up the ring finger there so that we have an open E. And we just pick open E, first B, second G, twice. Okay, it's a D9 chord. Alright, so just putting that together here. Alright, now it'll get us right into that chorus. Okay, and once the chorus kicks in, there's some arpeggiating going on there. I'd say it's more just about the dynamic of hitting the chord right on that first count, and then you can just kind of improvise, pick like throughout the middle of the chord, whatever sounds cool to you. No big deal on this. Alright, so it's just going to kick in with this G chord. And you can just pick through it a little bit there. Okay, a couple of measures. Then we go to an A, same thing. C chord, couple measures. G. Okay, then it starts over again, so G again. A. C. Okay, and now it's wrapping up, so we just do the one measure of a G. Alright, then we do one measure of a B minor 7. Okay, second on the A, 4D, second G, 3B, second E. One measure, then an E minor, and then A7. Okay, all just one measure for those last 4 chords. Okay, so just put that together here. Okay, we go through the verse progression again, and there's a little bit of a synth solo in there and all that, and eventually we'll build up into this Eclipse section. It's next song, I guess, but in this here, it slips up a little bit where it switches into a 3/3 time, so just be aware of that. And this is just straight up just arpeggiating. It's going to come all the way up here to this voicing of a D chord. Okay, so we're 12D, 11G, 10, on the B and E. And we just pick through those all the way down, all the way back up. Alright. And then we switch that D bass note to a C. So just take that ring finger, move the pointer up so that you're just barring the 10 basically. And then you have your 11 on the G still. just pick all the way through it and back up. All right, and now we move to a fun little chord. It's a B flat with the sharp 11. Okay, so we'll be on the A to the B, 7, G, 6, B, and we just pick through that, 8, 7, 6. All right, and now here, where the 11 comes in, that sharp 11, it's a pull off from the 9 on the G to that 7. Okay, kind of cool sounding. And then just end it back on that 8 on the D. Okay, so. Alright, and then we can just end it on a A. So just take what we have here and just slide it down a fret. So that we're 7, 6, 5. And just pick through that. And you can just pick through it like up and then up again. I think that sounds cool. Alright, so then in this progression it just repeats throughout this Eclipse part. So just keep rocking that out. Alright, and then you just end it on a D chord if you like. And you're all good. Thanks for checking out the video, everybody. Like it, share it, leave a comment. It's always good to hear from you. Do me a favor and hit the subscription button. I put out a video pretty frequent, so you don't want to miss out on that. Check out the links in the description box below. I have really cool links for tablature books, all the gear I use, t-shirts, fun stuff like that. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.